This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Coming back out to Greenville, just familiar with the arena. You've had really good success there. So with Mac and Aaron, what's the big deal or the big thing with them having played there coming into the SEC tournament?
Their ability to tell stories to the younger kids, tell them what it's like down there, regale about, the hotel. We're staying in the same hotel. We'll eat the same places. We'll practice at the same off-site gyms. Just tell good stories, talk about what a cool environment that the SEC's created there, bringing their not every year, but a lot in the last 6 years. And the fact that, except for when you play South Carolina, it's a pretty neutral site. And then, South Carolina in your bracket's always exciting / scary as hell, but that's part of it. None of these kids were here when we pulled the upset off and turned South Carolina fans into Razorback fans. You were there.
Yep.
So, I'm looking forward to the Gallagher machine upstairs. I see my high score still standing. I got 999,999 last year. So unless they've unplugged it, I can only be tied. So we love Greenville. It's a great spot. We've got cool little places we go eat, a lot of familiar faces, and, having DJ Derrick there and our table crew, there's a lot of familiar faces. It's a neat environment, and they've really created a good thing for women's basketball there in Greenville.
And coming off the win, against Texas A&M, coming into this, you're talking about the stories. Just how is that going to help, the morale? Like, hey, look, we went here and we've done some things, just how the season's worked out. You're in the kind of same spot you were last year. So
Yep.
How does that help them prepare?
Well, it allows you to hit a reset button. We know that the SEC is 16 games, and when you're done with those 16 games, you can reflect back on all of them. You don't have that recency bias that we all as humans have, what's happened lately. You look back and say, we won 7 games in a really competitive league. We had 4 other games that were literally one possession into the last 2 minutes of the game. You can either reflect on that as a what could have been or what was. So we did our reflecting, and now we've moved on to, Missouri first, and then see what happens from that point. Amber put together an itinerary that involves us being there through Sunday. I'm following my normal superstitious, little stitious plan of, packing accordingly to the bracket. So hopefully we have to go do some shopping. Anytime there's an upset, you get to go shopping. So bags are packed. Obviously a familiar opponent, so we'll start prep today and safe travels down there later today.
And coming into this, last thing for me, is there any position on where you think games you have to win to really on the bubble, get off the bubble? Is that even a thought right now, or is that
Sure.
just?
No, it's a thought. I track it. I'm not going to all of a sudden flip scripts on y'all and tell y'all I don't look at that stuff. I do. I can tell you this: we just got to keep giving people reason to talk about us in a good way. And that's by winning and playing well in your wins. We played well in our win the other day against an A&M team that we got full strength. So that's a positive. You get a chance to play against Missouri, who's a top 50 in the net, and then you get the unanimous #1 team in the country. See how you play against them. So I don't begin to know what the committee will do, but I know that we have to give them ammunition to be talking about us favorably. So we have to play well. And then the result will take care of itself. But I don't think you could probably have, if you're going to take the defense attorney or the prosecuting attorney, you want more evidence on your side than against you. So going down there and starting with a good game against Missouri is going to be the key.
That's all I got. I'll see you when you get here.
You got it. Are you on the way?
I'm already here.
You're already there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Settle in. We'll be there about 6:30 or 7.
Ethan?
Hey, Mike. So Missouri, the 2 games you played them earlier this year, arguably both of your top defensive performances this year. Just as that, how is that something y'all talk about, getting ready to
cut out there a little bit and then locked up. But the way I heard it was our best 2 defensive games have been against Missouri. And how does that go into play?
Yeah.
And you there? Yeah. Did I get that about right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's easy prep as far as the work goes.
Yeah, I'm losing me.
Think you can hear me?
I think I can hear you. I can hear you now. I can hear you
Yeah.
now. My question was just defensively, you played 2 of your best games. Is that something you'll talk about,
Yeah.
entering that?
Sure. It's the same people running their offense and the same people guarding them. So, again, we've got a lot of film that shows we're capable of doing it. So don't let effort. Robin's going to make some adjustments. She's a pro coach. She's a veteran. They've got good players. They're a good offensive team. They will make adjustments. I know that against what we have done. So we'll have to be ready for those. But yeah, we talk about it. And I've broken it down to how many possessions we've played in the 2 games and taken an average of that, and how many times we've gotten stops. And so we're going to do in practice today. We're going to practice till we get that number times 2. I want us to be twice as ready as we need to be. So, if we need 40 stops, practice will end today when we get 80. On the defensive side, we need to take 65 good shots. When we take 130 today, we'll stop practice. So, yeah, I think it's, I think if you don't talk about it, you're missing an opportunity to instill a little bit of confidence. But it's got to be cautious optimism, because I think we know how good that team has been against other people. And we all know there's just good matchups and bad matchups. We've had them on our side. There's teams you just match up better against. It's a great matchup for Sailor. It's a great matchup for our guards. It's a good matchup for Aaron. So we do have to talk about it and show it, but remind them that it's going to be 0-0 when it starts, and we'll have to make the adjustments along the way. So talk about it, but don't rely on it, I guess, is the shortest answer I could have given you.
Sweet. And then, Erin was a freshman, I believe, her redshirt year on the team that went down there as a 10 seed and made it to the tournament. Do you talk about that team kind of as motivation for the team, or is it just something that, you leave in the past?
If we get to the head-to-head with South Carolina, I think we may ask to talk about it. But even this team's got – the similarities between this year and last there are a lot of them. Same record, same opponent, same, we've beaten them twice in the regular season last year, same type deal. And we had to go to overtime to beat them. So almost everybody on the team can remember that one. And if we got past that one, then I'd let Aaron maybe talk about a little bit the South Carolina matchup. But I think this group will remember back to what it meant last year and how you have to play well in that environment. It's a difference, neutral for both of us. There's no home court advantage either way. So tell each other positive stories and be ready to handle the hard stuff that comes along with, one and done type setting in a tournament.
That's it for me. I will get Porter's first. Y'all be second. I'll be there about 11:30 tonight.
Are you on the way? Are you on the way?
I'm leaving around 5.
Okay. All right. We'll see you soon. All right.
You bet.
Dudley?
Yeah, I saw that obviously Aaron gave a second team All SEC, Sailor Freshman of the Year team. Just talk about those 2 and them getting the honors.
I'll start with Aaron just because of what a great story it is. A kid that, has developed and worked and waited, earned her playing time, didn't get frustrated like a lot of kids have done with the transfer portal world. Played behind Taylor, played behind, Kiara, her cousin, and with those guys. And then when her opportunity came, made the most of it. And it's just continued to get better and better in every aspect of her game. Couldn't happen for a kid that had been dealt a lot of tough knocks too early in her life. Just a great example of sticking with things, doing hard things the hard way, not doing the least path of resistance, taking the hard path and sticking with it, and perseverance and all those other good $64,000 words, but super proud for her and of her, mainly because of the way she did it. And obviously her impact on the floor. She's starting to draw double teams. She's top of the scout for a lot of people. And in this league and this year to be able to make that team is a hard team to make. There were a lot of nominees. There were a lot of people that were worthy of it. And to be one of the 16 kids recognized is a good thing for Erin. And we're all proud of her and for her. And then with Sailor on the all freshman team, it's hard to be a freshman, period. In this league, it's really, really hard, and to establish yourself in that category is one of I think they named 8 total. She's a worker, and she understands that it's an honor, but it comes because of what her teammates have done too. She's very grateful for it. She's very appreciative of how her teammates have set her up for that type of success. So, I'm always proud of people that do get recognized. There's always kids that don't get recognized that you're just as proud of, that are just as deserving. It's just a hard thing when you got 14 different people voting across the deal. But I think we have other players who had all SEC caliber performances. It's just a finite number of people that get the actual recognition. And we're proud to have the 2 that we did have. And they know that it's a reflection of how your team does as well.
Also, I'm never tried to act like I was the smartest man in the room, but going in off a win, so much better than going in off a loss.
Yes.
Just talking about maybe looking at their shoulders this week and seeing them a little bit more pumped up and that sort of stuff.
When you go through the season, you see those ups and those downs, and those kids live with an incredible amount of, I don't want to use the word pressure, but just a lot of people looking. And to see them smiling and to see them high-fiving again and to see a little bit of laughter. Sports is crazy the way it makes you feel after a loss. It makes you feel 10 times worse than winning feels good. That's the biology of it. That I finally researched it and found out that the hormone is 5 times as strong. That's why it feels that way. But food tastes better, practices are better, our class attendance is better, the weather got better. It's just one of those things, Dudley. You've been around enough teams to know that it's a real thing, the way it makes you feel. So I'm happy to get to see them, take a big sigh, a big breath of relief, and be able to be proud. And a lot of times, again, it doesn't necessarily mean you played any better or any worse than some of those games that result in losses, but it does make you feel a different way. So good to see them. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for everybody that's associated with what we do, all the way down to everybody that gets on that plane with us. We all live with those outcomes, and trying to talk them through is the fun part of coaching. Telling them that it feels this way right now, but through experience, take our, I don't know how many total years of combined, but I'll just use me and Amber combined. I think between she and I, we've got 60 something years, though Todd's 25 in there, and Lacey and Pauline and everybody's just trying to share with them that it feels this way right now, but it's those struggles that we've been through that you're going to really look back in 10 years and kind of go, wow, this helped me prepare for something that some of these teams that are something in 0 or something in 1 might not have been through. And those are the moments that come back. I got a couple of cards this week from some players from past teams that follow us and have just been really encouraging to our players that this stuff is hard, but these are those worth it moments. We say that all the time.
There's also the old adage always thrown out there that it's tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. That's usually brought up by the coach who's lost twice.
Yeah.
But talk about just the familiarity with Missouri and what y'all did successful in those first 2 games, and I'm sure they'll make adjustments.
Yeah, we've really guarded them. I mean, we've held them well below their individual scoring averages and their team scoring averages. It's a good matchup, player for player with us. There's a natural matchup. Everybody, I think, Robin knows who we're going to put on each person, just like we do them. We've played each other twice every year, like 6 in the last 2 or 9 in the last 3, something like that. I think that adage is partly accurate. But I tell you this, it makes the preppies. We've already got the scout blanks done. We've already got their pictures downloaded. There is some opportunity to use your time more efficiently. So that's what we're trying to do. It doesn't make it any more fun. Robin is somebody that I sit next to when we have free time at the SEC meetings and we talk about our families. And I hate playing against people that I know, very, very personally, but I think there's a healthy amount of respect for the situations that we find ourselves in, a lot in common, a lot of times being very similar in a lot of ways, and being where we're at within the league establishment. So the familiarity is a good thing in prep. It kind of stinks when you get out there on the floor and you do feel like, them.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Bet Online, where the game starts.